Hello everyone and welcome back to another Star Wars figure review. Today we're going to take a look at an action figure 2-pack from Star Wars The Last Jedi, and in today's review we are going to take a look at the brand new character of the Elite Praetorian Guard. A very interesting looking character, more on him in just a moment. And of course a recurring character from Star Wars The Force Awakens and the new hero of this sequel trilogy, none other than Rey. This is a really cool 2-pack, and we're going to talk about all the details and all the pros and cons of this set in just a moment. But before we do that, as always, let's take a look at the packaging that these two figures come in. As you can see, we do get brand new packaging for the action figure 2-packs. Sadly, there are only two multi-packs available in the Last Jedi line. One which features the Elite Praetorian Guard and Rey, and another that features Han Solo and Boba Fett from The Empire Strikes Back. That's something that really disappointed me, because the multi-packs from Rogue One were absolutely fantastic and in many ways some of the best products from Rogue One. So I was really looking forward to seeing that trend continue with The Last Jedi, but sadly we only get one new multi-pack from the new film, which is a little bit of a shame, but at least the figures inside this pack are absolutely fantastic. So we'll talk about those in just a moment. As you can see at the top of the card, you've got images of the characters that are included. That's the Praetorian Guard and Rey. You've also got an image of the characters on the side of the box as well. On the front, a plug for the Force link, and again a further advertisement on the back. Now, as I've said in most of my reviews from The Last Jedi so far, the majority of these videos are going to be Force Link free for the time being, because I've yet to pick up the Force Link starter kit, and I've got no immediate plans to do so in the near future, because I have heard mixed reviews on it, and to be honest, I do feel as though the Force Link is a little bit overpriced, and for something that I'm not 100% sold on, I'm not really comfortable throwing down that kind of cash on something that might not even be that good. So that remains to be seen whether or not I add that to my collection. But essentially it's a revival of the contact technology from the Phantom Menace line, which basically allows your figures to talk and interact with each other. And again, we'll go into more detail in that maybe somewhere down the line. But enough about the packaging. Let's take a look at the figures inside. And we'll kick things off with the brand new character, and that is the Elite Praetorian Guard. Now, from what I understand, these guys are the modern day equivalent of the Imperial Royal Guards from Return of the Jedi. Obviously, similarities between those two characters are evident in the colour scheme and the overall appearance of these figures. What I really like about them is just the unique appearance and the fact that the uniforms of these guards tend to vary. Some of them come with different weapons, some of them feature different helmets, and I'm really looking forward to picking up all the different variants of these guys throughout the Last Jedi line. Now, I know a lot of people aren't particularly keen on these figures, and I'll be honest, this version of the Praetorian Guard is probably my least favourite. As you can see, he's got what appears to be a dinner plate or some kind of surfboard or something on his head, which just looks a little bit awkward, to be honest. It doesn't look bad, I must admit I like it more than I probably should, but again, it's definitely my least favourite version of the Elite Praetorian Guard. There are a couple that have more rounded helmets, some of them which have more angular helmets, whereas this one's just kind of got a flat top, which looks a little bit awkward, but very cool, very menacing nonetheless. Now, it doesn't particularly pick up too well on camera, but the helmets themselves don't actually have any lenses in them, so I'm not entirely sure how these guys are going to see out of their helmets, but as you can see, you've got this sort of ribbed effect on there, and the angle at which the ribbed texture finishes is reminiscent of the mouthpieces of the stormtroopers, so it's nice to see some consistency throughout the design of the troopers and the characters within the First Order. In terms of articulation, this figure does feature your standard 5 points, so you've got a ball joint at the head, swivels at the shoulders and swivels at the hips. As you can see, the figure does have lengthy robes towards the bottom, and these are once again sculpted hollow, which gives you a look at the boots and the legs inside. Once again, I absolutely love the overall aesthetic of these characters. I love this ribbed armour effect on the arms. That looks really cool. Again, creates a truly unique look for these guards. You've got a really nicely detailed chest plate as well, with some continued detail around the back. And the weapon he comes with looks ever so menacing. He comes with this sort of double-ended vibro axe, which looks really, really cool. And what's really interesting about this weapon is the fact that it actually splits in two halves. So at the middle there is a joint where you can pull the weapon apart, and you can then proceed to have the figure hold his two weapons. So it really does look as though these figures are going to see a lot of combat in The Last Jedi. I'm really looking forward to seeing who they go toe to toe with, whether they take on Rey, whether they take on Luke Skywalker, maybe they even take on Kylo Ren. Who knows? We will find out in December, but very, very cool figure nonetheless. Now there is an alternate version of the Elite Praetorian Guard available with the BB-8 playset, which also includes Supreme Leader Snoke. And there's also a 3 3/4 inch super articulated version of one of the other versions of the Praetorian Guard with the rounded helmet available in the Black Series line. And there's also a 6-inch figure of this guy available as well. So plenty of Praetorian goodness going on in the Last Jedi line. So that is the Praetorian Guard. Once again, a very, very cool figure. Now let's take a look at the other figure we get in this set, and that is of course Rey. Now for the most part this figure is exactly the same, practically identical as the figure that's available on a basic card within the standard line of 3 3/4 inch figures. The only real differences are the fact that she does come with this, I want to say unique, but quite honestly I'm really not taken with it, this sort of cannon backpack that she comes with. I'm not 100% keen on it. I don't like the look of it. It is very gimmicky, very cheesy, and it's a real throwback to some of the accessories that we got with figures from The Force Awakens and Rogue One, and quite honestly I thought these were being stopped, to be honest, but as you can see it's here in living colour and it just doesn't look that great. As you can see, the cannon and the backpack itself does connect to Rey via a belt around the waist. The backpack is reminiscent of the Rebel Trooper backpacks from Return of the Jedi, and then you've got this sort of quad cannon going on over the shoulder, which Rey can hold at the bottom if you remove the lightsaber. Again, I have my doubts that we're going to see Rey use anything like this in the film. It's probably just been thrown in there to make this figure different to the basic carded release and also to increase the value for money aspect, but it's just something I'm not interested in, to be honest. Now while I've said that the figures feature embedded chips in them to activate the Force Link sounds and all that sort of stuff, this cannon also features a Force Link chip, which as you can see you've got the tag on the bottom. So if you've got the Force Link starter set, you can hold this figure and not only can you activate dialogue from Rey, but you can activate blaster sounds from the cannon. So that's really cool that they're integrating this across the board, but again it's really not an accessory that I'm keen on. So the less said about that the better. However, the rest of the figure is really, really nice. She does come with a multitude of accessories, the first of which of course being Anakin Skywalker's and Luke Skywalker's lightsaber, which I absolutely love with this one. As you can see, not only is the hilt really nicely sculpted, you've also got a link there, or a hook on the bottom of the hilt, so the hilt obviously can be attached to a belt. But the blade is this really nice, vibrant shade of blue, which just looks absolutely stunning, and it really makes the figure stand out, and it's the same case with the Black Series 6-inch release as well. So I'm really, really impressed with that. I'm glad that it's not that sort of horrible washed out blue that we tend to get with lightsabers. That looks really, really nice, and I've just took out the camera there. Do apologise about that. Really, really cool indeed. She also comes with the blaster pistol that Han Solo gave to her in The Force Awakens. That's stored inside a holster, and that can be removed like so. Essentially she comes with all the accessories that the Black Series version comes with, and we'll be taking a look at that figure in a future review. But there you go, that's the blaster pistol, nicely sculpted, nicely detailed. And she also comes with her Jakku staff. Now, one thing I have noticed about this is that it's a very fragile piece. It seems to be made from a very flimsy, very fragile plastic, and as such, I've noticed that the paint on this staff is prone to chipping. And I've actually tried throwing the staff over Rey's shoulder, and as I've done so, the paint on the strap has chipped off and it's smudged the figure's face. Thankfully, I've managed to get rid of it now, but it is something just to be aware of. It seems to be a very badly designed piece, so that will be something that I'll leave to one side. It's essentially the same staff that was included with all of her figures from The Force Awakens, but that sort of brittle paint is just something to be aware of. But the rest of the figure is absolutely fantastic. I would recommend picking up this figure over the standard carded release, just because you get the additional Praetorian Guard, and again, the figure is exactly the same. Now, in terms of articulation, Rey features a ball joint at the head, swivels at the shoulders and swivels at the hips, and as you can see, she is wearing what appears to be sort of a modified version of her Jakku rags from The Force Awakens, but given a bit of a Jedi twist. So I'm really looking forward to seeing where the character of Rey goes from here in the new film. And I absolutely love this figure. Highly recommend it. And I highly recommend the Elite Praetorian Guard as well. So definitely a multi-pack that I would suggest picking up. And as always, there's a link down below in the video description where you can do so. Very cool 2-pack, very cool figures, and worthy of an addition to the collection for sure. So that is going to do it for this review on Rey in Jedi training gear and the Elite Praetorian Guard. Hope you've enjoyed having a look at these figures, and I'll be back to give you a look at a vehicle from Star Wars The Last Jedi in my next review, so make sure you stay tuned for that. Until next time, as always, thank you for watching, keep collecting, and may the Force be with you.